What's going on? James Barnes here, and in this video, I'm going to do what I promised the audience that I was going to do. I'm going to walk you through a done-for-you HVAC campaign repair campaign. It's going to be strictly using GoHighLevel, but even if you're not using GoHighLevel, this could still be valuable to you because you're going to see the landing page, you're going to see the ad copy, you're going to see the targeting keywords that we're going to run it on pay-per-click because this is not a Facebook campaign. And I'm going to go through all the automations and the follow-up emails and everything that you need to basically take this and run with it if that is the niche that you're in. And if you're not in this niche, it could actually be used for different blue-collar niches that are going to be run on pay-per-click. For example, HVAC repair could probably be used also for plumbing, and you just replace some of the words out. Electrician, any blue-collar type of niches you can convert this to. Now, if you are watching this and you're new to my channel, my name is James Barnes, as mentioned, and I've been running an agency since 2014. I've been coaching since 2017. I've done millions of dollars online. But again, as I always say, this is about you and not about me, except for the fact that maybe you want to listen to somebody who's done this before. Now, before I jump into this campaign, I want to remind everybody who's watching this that in the next couple of videos, I'm going to have a done-for-you towing campaign that could also be used to switch to different niches. I'm going to walk you through that in the next week or two. I'm going to have a Facebook ads training. I'm going to have a pay-per-click training, and I plan to do a couple other niches before I start to dive into different aspects of the agency world, which one of them is going to be a client getting strategy utilizing Facebook and pay-per-click advertising to get clients for your agency. We coined it about 4 years ago, called the sneaky octopus, and it might not make sense to you now, but it will when I actually go through this. Now, if you don't know, if you look up in the header of this YouTube channel or in the link down below, I do have a free school community where I give away bonuses for people who sign up for GoHighLevel under our affiliate link. And so maybe if you were thinking about it or you wanted to do that, you could get a lot of assets just by doing that. In addition, there are a lot of people on this channel who watch me who can't switch affiliates. GoHighLevel has their 90-day cookie, I believe. You can upgrade through our link, but you cannot move affiliates. That is not allowed, and rightfully so. But if that is you, we do have another option, and the link is also down below. It'll bring you to a school landing page, which I will explain everything in there. If you still want my GoHighLevel training and you can't purchase GoHighLevel under us, then that would be the next phase in what you would need to do to get that training. So I just wanted to tell everybody there. So let's dive right into this training. All right. So what you see on the screen is the HVAC do-it-yourself setup checklist. Now, 90% is basically done for you. There's some steps that you need to go through, and I'm going to try to cover everything in this video, as well as go through the keywords that you can utilize, pay-per-click. I'm going to walk you through kind of the setup of the pay-per-click without actually training, because this video will be too long. But as I've mentioned, down below, you can find a ton of links to find all these assets and trainings and all that good stuff. What I typically do is I print out the checklist, okay? I literally print out this 4-page checklist. And what I'll do is, as I do these things, it sits in front of me. I grab a pen and I check it off as I do it, right? It's important to make sure that no steps are missed. And even when I do that, I sometimes realize, oh, on this checklist, I forgot to add X, Y, and Z, right? So checklists are really, really good to keep you organized, kind of keep you sane, and to make sure that you don't miss any steps. So if we want to take a look at the checklist, what we want to do first is create the sub account for the client. And are we going to be creating it from scratch or from a snapshot? The snapshot, right? Do you have an HVAC campaign snapshot? Now, obviously we do. So let's go through this really, really quick. Now, what we want to do is, and I have to do this in a fake account, or I'm going to run the risk of YouTube shutting off this video because I accidentally left somebody's info on here. So what we're going to do, I have already created it. So essentially what I did was I went into our account snapshots. I typed in HVAC. As you can see here, it says tier 1 campaign, and I clicked create new account. Well, let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new account. I'm going to type in all this information, and then I'm going to create the account. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here's the dummy account that I created for this HVAC campaign setup. And one of the things that we're going to have to do is go through the business settings. What I like to do is once I create the account, and by the way, just a side note, even if you don't have the snapshot, you could still build this stuff out the way I'm showing you in this video. So I'm going to hit switch to sub account. And now the first thing that I'm going to do is, and if you look at the next portion of this checklist, it's the phone number, right? This is like the crutch that people have to deal with, because if you have a client that is a trial client and they're not paying you any money yet, how are you going to get them to be registered? Now, I have had trial clients say, sure, if that's what you need, then you can go ahead and register my phone number. Most of the time, it's more of a warm market lead. There's too many hurdles for like a really cold market trial client to say, yeah, here's all my information. Go register a tracking number. So what I'll do is I'll just literally use their phone number. The next thing would be is you're running the trial more for form submissions, because then at least that proves that what you're doing is working. And this is a tough one, ultimately, because a lot of times when people need repairs, this is the good thing about pay-per-click advertising and repairs, is that they will call and not fill out forms. And so you just have to make sure that the conversation is had with the potential client. Now, obviously, if this is a client, there should be no problem getting them to get registered and approved because it's a real business. They probably have an EIN number. But in the case that if it's a trial client, then I want you to just not get stuck with this and just understand that we could still show pay-per-click data that what you're doing is working. Okay, we could still do that. And we're going to do it from form submissions, internal notifications, and just kind of what Google is telling us is the data. How many people called with the click to call phone number and things like that. So don't worry too much about this. This is what it is. And if you worry about this, then you're going to always worry about this. And it's not worth it, to be honest with you. Just keep going forward. We can still show data and proof on a pay-per-click client. And by the way, you shouldn't be doing free work, meaning also paying for their ad spend. Now, back in the day, this is what I did. I paid for $25, $50, $100 of ad spend just to get some leads in there. It can still be done if you have more money than time, essentially, okay? So let's go ahead and just skip these things here because this would be, quote unquote, a trial client, not a real client. And so I would be skipping the phone number aspect of this, okay? The next step would be, we're going to go into the business information. And YouTube, if you're watching this, this is all fake data right here. So what's the friendly name? Like, what are we going to call it in GoHighLevel? We're going to call this HVAC trial client. And then for me, because I have so many sub accounts, I'm going to put YouTube so I know the difference. And then the legal business name, let's say it's HVAC. Okay. What's their business email? Let's say it's, and then again, their business phone number. Now, their business phone number, again, this is their account. This is their sub account. Okay. So this would be the business's information. Very, very important over here. Physical address. Make sure you have the right physical address. The time zone is chosen. The United States or the country is chosen. Now, if you look at the checklist, right, I can go in here and say, I checked the country and I edited all the business. Then the next step would be missed call text back. Now I'm going to stay on business info and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to that's check. And then I'm going to make sure that this is not on. Okay. So that's off. So I check that. It's disabled. Okay. Now I'm going to add a domain similar to the client's company. So if this is HVAC Bros, I'm going to go over to GoDaddy because this is just what I use. I'm going to go ahead and sign into GoDaddy. And I'm going to, if their company name is HVAC Bros, to be honest with you, can do HVAC Passaic County. and search for domains, right? I'm just going to, because what if they don't become a client? I can now use this domain for another HVAC company. All right, cool. So this one's available. So I'm not going to start a free website. I typically will do, but let's just put no domain protection for now. I'm not going to do any emails. Continue to cart. Now, again, I use GoDaddy. So whatever you guys use, I'm going to change this to 1 year. All right, so now GoDaddy's going to try to start selling me a bunch of stuff. I'm going to hit not now. Okay, now I'm going to just jump right over into, let's see what my checklist is. So add a domain similar to client company, right? I haven't done that. I bought the domain, make that a little more self-explanatory. And then I'm going to come over to go domains, and I'm going to go manage DNS, and I'm just going to sit on this screen for now. Okay, then, so I could check that. I'm going to add domain to GoHighLevel. See, I already know this stuff, but if it's somebody that's a beginner, GoHighLevel. So now I'm going to go over to settings, and GoHighLevel has made this so much easier than it used to be. So I'm going to go over to domains. Okay, now remember where I am. I'm adding I already bought a domain. I'm going to add domain to GoHighLevel. Hit add domain. Now you see what it says. Here's an example. So that's my root domain. And then make sure this is, I also want to add the www.version. Hit continue, and it already knows. So I want to do authorize domain. Now it's going to automatically connect me into GoDaddy because there's a connection there. Now it's in my lead connector. I'm going to hit close and then let that authorize. And while that's authorizing, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to skip ahead. You know, I know a lot of people, they're like, let me just jump ahead and let me just take everything one step at a time, because this is where problems start to happen. So let that authorize. Now, sometimes these the records are added automatically, and sometimes it basically fails, so you're going to have to do it manually. So let's see what happens in this case. Okay, so it was added successfully. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, like I said, sometimes it fails, okay? And when it fails, let's see over here. Maybe this one failed. Okay, so there's something here that has happened, so we'll figure this out. But here's our root domain. So that looks like it was added. And then now you have your default and your 404. So if I come back to the checklist, add domain to GoHighLevel, and now we're going to add it to the funnel we want to use. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's not worry about any of this stuff yet. So let's go over to sites. And we have two versions of this. So we have this one here. I'll just open both. And this is our OG. All right, so we have two versions of this. All right, either one converts because we've ran both of them. All right, so let's work with the this one. We're gonna work with this one right here. Okay, so let's go back, and so since now we chose which one it is, HVAC, not the HVAC campaign, even though they're both campaigns. We're gonna go back to settings, domains. And we're going to add the default page to HVAC home and the 404 page to HVAC home and hit save. Then we're going to come over here. And this little error here that I'm seeing is default page before won't be applicable for this domain. So let's go over to GoDaddy and see what is going on. Let's refresh this. Okay, so here are my records. There's no forwarding. All right, this is what I want to see. I want to see that it added this and the A record to here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Okay. So, it had that little exclamation part. If that ever happens, just go over here to URL redirects. And if it's something there, just delete them. Okay. And then you can go back and see that that's gone. All right. So let's just go over here, edit, home. And then the www. We want to do the same thing. Let's make this a HVAC home. An HVAC, home, and hit save. Okay, those little redirects snuck up on me. I just realized that you have to go here and delete them. Okay, so that all looks good. Now let's go over to, now it takes some time to propagate and all that good stuff. We're gonna go back over to sites, and we're gonna go into our actual little funnel. So 2-page site. We're gonna go back. Let's delete this, and we're gonna say we added the domain to the funnel. Now we're going to edit and connect the funnel to the form. Okay, now why is that important? So let's take a look over here to go to the form builder. And here's our funnel form. All right. So there's no other funnels in this snapshot, but all this is and you can edit this: full name, phone, and email. Right? We can, when we're running pay-per-click ads, what we want to really do is we just want to get the info. If they're not going to call a phone number, they're going to fill a form out. Just let's get the form in there and create the automations around it so somebody's following up with them right away. Okay. So if we go back here, and then we go back to funnels, and we go HVAC, and then we're going to edit this page. Okay. So so here, what do we want to edit, right? Is it a client? Is it a trial client? All this stuff plays a big role in what we're going to be doing. And so I don't want to give a completely different training for a trial and a completely different training for an actual client. So let's just assume that I'm going to just tell you, if it's a trial, you're not going to have all their information here. So you can get rid of some of this stuff, but let's assume that this is, I'm filling out this for either or. So if I have their socials, I'll put their socials, I'll have their street, and now their phone number, right? So one thing I want to edit about this is this book now, I want to change to a call, okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead and put their actual phone number in. All right, so we want the phone number to be very, very prevalent, right? We want people to see it when they land it. And then you could check the mobile phone, which actually this looks pretty good. But what I want to do is this book now needs to be, if you go to advanced, we need to also click the mobile. So you always got to check both. Okay, so now if I look at mobile, sometimes these are off. So we're going to click that. There's our book now. Now we want to make this on mobile centered. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this middle element and click center. There we go. So that'll just show on mobile. So a lot of times I will do both editing or at least checking at the very least just to see what it looks like. Now, company name. Well, who's going to be the client? So, I mean, it's really simple. Just hit the photo. I'll just pick anything. All right, so we're just going through here and editing stuff, right? I just want to start making it look a little bit bigger, a little bit different. I want to change this logo because this is not what the logo would look like. Let me go into, and by the way, real quick, if you are on a trial client or you just want to show them something, meaning like, hey, this is how we're going to be running it, you could create like a really easy in Canva. I'm just going to scroll down to see if I have any here, right? So I'm just creating this. I make it a little bit bigger. All county HVAC repair. That will be my, and I'm literally just going to screenshot this, and then I'm going to come back into here, upload the file. So at least we have some sort of like logo. And now, like, as I'm starting to do these things, I'm starting to say, you know what? I want this button to be, right? Now it's going to start looking like these. Maybe I want this to be a blue. Now that I'm starting to get like certain colors. I wanted a darker blue, so I'm going to hit didn't find your color, add a custom one. Okay, so that's darker. Take a look on it on mobile. So when I look on mobile, I have too much space here. So what's creating all that space? Should be a top margin. Yeah, look at the top padding. We want to make sure that everything that we are doing in here has real information. If you're going to be running ads to a company, you need to make sure that you are taking the company information. So we would be editing all this stuff. All right. So let's assume for purposes of this video that we've edited everything that we need. The address, the socials, the phone number. We made sure that it was call now for emergency service. We'll get to the form in just a second. And then anything else that, if you're using this exact site, anything else that I need to, welcome to company name, that I need to go through, then I would, right? If there's things that don't apply, well, maybe like this, number speaks. Maybe I'm like, you know what? I don't know. They don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to delete that. All right. So let's assume this is done. So now if we go back to the form. All right. So if I'm in the form builder and I go over to HVAC funnel form, because now I'm kind of making the site like a red blue type thing, I'm going to now go over here and I'm going to change the background to red. Have a tech contact me, and I'm going to hit save. I want to stress upon you guys that editing the funnel, do not spend more than 20 to 30 minutes editing this funnel. Do not. Above the fold is the most important. And then just making sure that you actually have information. It doesn't say like company name here, like stupid things like that. Okay, so let's go over to, so the form is done. Let's go over to our checklist again, and editing and connecting form. We edited the funnel. We made the phone number clickable. We edited all info. Now, pop-ups. We didn't do that. So let's go to the pop-up. And then let's go over to the pop-up settings. All right. So this is what it looks like now. Transparent, not into it. So I'm going to go background color. I don't want it to make it too similar. So let's do a black. There we go. And then let's make this red. Let's make it white. You'll see it better. All right, so let's go back over to the, here, hit pop-ups. Now we're gonna go into automations. The first thing that we wanna do is go back here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I feel like you guys aren't gonna be able to see this good enough. All right, that's probably better. We want to check our automations, and we wanna make sure that any of the automations that we have are all in draft. Okay, we don't want any automations on right now. Okay, so if we did that, then we'll go automations, they're all off. Now we're going to determine what are we doing? Are we running reputation management? Are we running pay-per-click ads, Facebook ads? And in this video, this is going to be about pay-per-click ads. And so, you know, rep management is very easy. I've done tons of videos on that. And that whole automation is in my free resources section. But let's jump in and assume this client is hired us and is paying us for pay-per-click ads. So we need to make sure all of our follow-up campaigns are edited, right? Even though snapshots contain 80 to 90% of things done for you, all of the language needs to be edited. For example, if I come down here and I look at the first email, we need to put the from name, we need to put the from email, subject, discounted HVAC service, next steps. You've claimed our discount HVAC service offer. The next step is for you to get scheduled, and you can have, you know, a link here, but this may not work for you or your client. And so what will work for them? Only you know that. And so you would need to change this text. Also, if you don't have a phone number, you can't send a text message. So if I were you in situations like this, I would copy this and then edit it how you want, because you never know, maybe you'll be able to use all of these follow-ups. And just so you know, the follow-ups aren't rocket science, because somebody submits a form, somebody calls, somebody texts. It's whoever gets back to them fastest. That's who's going to win the deal 60%, 70% of the time. If I submit a form and somebody at least sends an auto text, at least I know that I'm going to be probably the first one to contact them. So that is, this whole automation goes out, I don't even know, like 2 months, I think, but it's only about 16 touches, I believe. All right. And after about 2 months, we're done. Like they've already fixed whatever problem they have. And it also, what's going to depend on this is going to be the offer that you have. And so in some of them, you'll see, if I go over here, you know, some of them will say like, just touching base to see if you're still interested in a discounted HVAC service. Well, I don't know. Is that your offer? I don't know what your offer is. Free tune-up? Maybe you don't even have an offer. Maybe you're just running pay-per-click ads, right? And so it would just be a service, not an offer. So once that is done, we go through, we edit the whole edit or adding an automation follow-up, and we're going to service the PPC. Okay. And so that would be, at least this gets you started. It cuts all of like the adding and removing and starting from scratch. Now you have this. I think I mentioned this before, this tune-up Facebook lead ad follow-up campaign. Well, that also could, you could actually look at this, and you could just use this as also as a follow-up, because this is discount. The lead format is a discounted AC furnace tune-up offer. That's what that offer is. All right. And so, yeah, that's just a simple lead form. All right, so it would be service, and so that's done. Now, before I actually going to take this and move it, and the first thing we want to do is the trigger is form submitted. I'm going to add a filter, HVAC funnel form save trigger. Matter of fact, let's go back here. Let me just remind trigger, because all this stuff kind of needs a trigger. And so I don't want this to go unnoticed. And then each one would also need an internal, if so, depending on what you're running. So we're just going to set up really quickly after the 1 minute, I'm going to go internal. Let's do an email notification. And it's going to be from, so now this internal notification is going to be from you, the agency. So I'm the agency, but I'm the one you are paying. From email, we're going to send it from the internal. Oh, actually, let me just do this. Let's do custom email. And we're going to send, let's do James at visibility. If this is your GoHighLevel, your main agency settings is where it's going to pull from. So I like to send it from the what I have set up on my agency settings. Okay, and then it's going to be a custom email. Let's say this is, what did I say? HVAC bros at, so an internal notification is me, the agency owner, wanting to tell my client, HVAC bros, that they got a lead. And so that will happen when the form is triggered. Now I'm going to internally notify them from me, the agency owner, from my agency email to their email. Subject, you could say you just got a lead, right? And then you could go as far as saying, hey Joe, James here, the following lead just filled out the form on your PPC ad. It's another good thing about, running pay-per-click is that we can kind of or GoHighLevel, you can kind of separate all this stuff. Then if we want, we could go as far as contact. I think the form has full name, so let me put full name. Email, that's what we connect to, and then phone number we collect. Phone, please contact them ASAP. Okay, so this would be a good thing too. You definitely want to do that. You definitely want to put an internal notification, put a 1 minute wait here. See why checklists are so good? Because even me, I've been doing this for so long, I still constantly forget things. Okay, so here we go. So auto follow-up campaign, that's done. Go back here. We did the internal. And now it's time to do the SMTP setup. We'll make this called email services so nobody gets confused. Bring that to the next line. All right, so let's jump over back into GoHighLevel and let's go hit up the settings. Email services. And so we're going to create a dedicated domain. Now I'm using lead connector. I switched all my accounts over to GoHighLevel's lead connector. You can add anything you want, whatever it is that you want. So my domain is HVAC Passaic County, and I'm going to type in lc.Passaic County. Add and verify. Again, creating your SMTP within GoHighLevel is really a lot easier than it used to be. And so now we're just going to connect your domain. We're going to authorize that domain. It should automatically do it. So we're going to hit connect. Okay, so we're going to leave that open for now. Okay, so that's authorizing. Then it says close it. So now I'm going to listen to it and say close. All right, so now it added all of this stuff that we used to have to do manually. Now it added here. Okay, so let's go to verify domain and see what gets verified. This you have to wait a lot of the times. Okay, now they're all verified. So all these things are verified. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on this, but February 1st, there was a big change for certain email providers on having your DMARC set properly and all that good stuff. So, but for cases of this video, again, you can find a lot of stuff, but I'll probably do a separate video on this channel in regards to making sure that your DMARC is set properly and your DKIM records are set properly. Okay, but for right now, let's just keep this as is. Okay, so once you get that all verified, you'll see here on lead connector email system, lc.hvacpassaicounty.com. You'll see it underneath. If it doesn't, it'll keep popping up saying create one. there's some delay in a lot of this stuff. So don't get frustrated. Once you see all the verified, wait 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes before you go back into the email services tab, because sometimes it kind of gets a little stuck and it glitches a little bit and it's going to get you confused. So just wait 15, 20 minutes no matter what. If this is the first time you've done this. If you've done this before, then you probably already know that. All right, so that's done. And if we go back to our trusty old sheet, we are going to now say that we've already done the email services and we're going to do LC. Now, there are other ones like Gmail, G Suite, other, right? So we could choose other these. Now, I do want to make a point that if you are working with a client that you have a good relationship with and you think is going to be a long-term client, I highly suggest that you go the extra step and you actually set up G Suite. Again, I have a whole training in the free resources section under my GoHighLevel training that talks about G Suite. If you're going to get GoHighLevel under our affiliate link, you get that training, or you can head over to the new Marketing Agency Essentials School group and pay a low monthly fee for a bunch of stuff as well. So it's up to you what you can and cannot do. G Suite will allow you, if you set up G Suite, will allow you to utilize instantly. And when you utilize instantly, you could spend a week warming up the emails. So if you take a look, at like this one, for example, all you do is enable the warm up, and it sent out these emails to warm them up. And so you can see here, and it's been warming up for a very long time. Sometimes they land in spam, sometimes they don't. But I could tell you that if you do warm up your email, this instantly is a great. I don't even have an affiliate link for it, so I guess I could just go to instantly.com. Maybe Instantly should reach out to me and ask me for an affiliate link. But either way, so in this case, we did this one. If you're not using, if you're using LC, they think they do an internal warm up for you, but Instantly, I believe, only does Gmail, G Suite, Office, Outlook. They do any provider, SMTP. So maybe you can. I don't think you could do it with LC. Mailgun, you can do it with if you go to Mailgun yourself and have it. But I do not know. Maybe somebody can correct me down below if you guys know. Maybe something I'll look into a little bit. So this is where we're at. Okay, and so let's just take a quick look here. We created a sub account. Let's say we got it from a snapshot. We checked the country, the business information. We made sure all the business information was correct of our client. We turned off and disabled missed call text back unless you want that enabled, depending on if you have a phone number. We bought a domain similar to the client company. We added the domain to GoHighLevel. We added the domain to the funnel. We edited the entire funnel. The funnel phone number in the funnel is clickable, or a button at least is that they can click and call. We edited all information to match the client on that. We edited the pop-up. If you so choose, you can get rid of that pop-up too. Our automations, they were all off. We decided that we're going to offer pay-per-click. We edited and added any follow-up sequences that we wanted to do. We set up our internal notification, and we now have our email, and we chose LC. The next thing that I would tell you to do is add yourself as a contact to test. Now I'm going to add that to the checklist as well. Test all automations, add yourself as a contact, and put yourself through the automation. So let's just say that we did that. Okay, it's really simple to do. And we added ourselves as a contact. And now it's going to come down to PPC. Now, this video would be too long if I did a walkthrough. Again, I'm going to tell you, and this isn't really like self-promotion, but if you want trainings like this, you got to go down and go through our free resources and go through the classroom and take a look at what's free, what's not free in that area. All right, everything is very self-explanatory. But just to give you, for those of you who understand how to run a pay-per-click campaign, I'm just trying to keep this really simple. When you have an account to run your ads, okay, it's search network only, all features, Google search only, the client's local area, manual CPC, budget, ID. Now, look, there's different ways to do this. I'm just sharing you the easiest and kind of most reliable way. I know there's call only ads, and there's all these different things. Again, we go through this stuff in our coaching program, but it would be massive amounts of videos that I have to put out here. But I'm going to tell you, like, you don't have to to make things more complicated, or it doesn't have to be that complicated to get phone calls to a client. Okay. This is like the bare minimum that you need. Ideally $100 a day budget. It might not spend that. Ad scheduling, you can leave default, which is 24 hours, or set for business hours of the client, and you rotate them indefinitely. Ad copy, very, very simple. Local home heating repair, fast, no hassle HVAC service, accepts credit cards. If they don't, you don't have to change that. Help available 24/7. You can call now to speak. They would click, go to your domain and your two-page site and call from that button. Here's another one you could do, and another one that you could do. Well, this is water heater repair. I think I captured that one on accident. All right. And again, example, you could do a starting CPC bid of $25. Heating repair, heating repair services, water heater repair. In this example, we also had water heater repairs. Train furnace repair near me. Right? Keeping it very, very simple. And the thing about pay-per-click is that it's kind of like clients need to know that, things don't just click. All the areas are different. No matter where you live in this country or outside this country, running pay-per-click is you're testing in the beginning. And they need to understand that. But in a lot of cases, it's kind of plug and play as well, because you kind of know what works and what doesn't work. All right. So this is also expectations. So for heating repair, your average cost per click is $20. Primary conversation is going to be a phone call. Your average cost per lead is $20 to $30 per project call. And the project conversion rate, depending on how fast you get back to them, is 20 to 40%. AC repair is a little bit cheaper at $13 a click. Phone call, obviously primary, about $35 cost per project during business hours, and an average client conversion rate of 50 to 70%. This is our stats. It might not be yours, but at least you have something. You could use this if you're trying to sell somebody, and you'll be relatively close between a couple dollars, between some percentage points. At least you have something that we could do. A lot of our students use these stats to kind of give clients a heads up of where they'll probably end up after the first 5, 7, 10 days of testing out campaigns. And so that is the start to finish campaign setup. It's nothing cosmic, but it does help cut a lot of time off, the time of starting everything from scratch. And so please keep in mind that there is always going to be legwork, even on snapshots. And it should be like that. And another point that I want to make is, when you watch me edit these funnels and wonder why I don't keep the funnel exactly as is, it's because these funnels are being used by thousands of people. And this is good for you to understand. And so even though 95% of the people will never use them or ever even run an ad to them, I always like to take the snapshot or the funnel and just change the look of it. It's not that you're going to really change much of what's on the page, but you're changing the look of it. So you're not a dime a dozen, and now you're 1 out of 10 that is running these campaigns. 2-page sites is something that we've run for years and years and years and continue to. All it is a landing page and a thank you page. Matter of fact, I didn't even show you, but all the thank you pages is a logo. Thank you for submitting your information. Call us. If this is, if you want to get in touch right away, call us in their actual business phone number. If not, we'll reach out to you. And so this is a very simple, fast, and easy way to get things up for your clients. And so if there's anything that any questions that you may have, just put them down below. If the questions is going to be related to pay-per-click advertising, just visit our free resources section, go through the classroom, and you'll kind of understand how we are delivering these assets and these trainings to our GoHighLevel affiliates, as well as the people who join Marketing Agency Essentials as well. It's all self-explanatory. Guys, I appreciate you watching, and I hope this was valuable in some sense, and I'm excited to get up the next couple of trainings. Talk soon. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.